Hi guys, welcome back. So today we'll be taking a look at some of the Chinese stocks listed in the US. Before we begin, remember to take a second to give the video a like and subscribe as you really help our channel. Without further ado, let's first start off with Tencent. So you can see that Tencent previous low of 37.92 already broke down, so that is not really a good sign. After breaking down for a while, triggering some stop losses and hit to the cloud resistance before pulling back down once again. So for the next support to watch, you can see that there is essentially no support here until we go back in time somewhere in October 2018. And you can see that there was this particular strong support coming in, which is in fact coming pretty soon at 31.54 above the $30 psychological support level. So there is a very good chance for us to come back and retest this particular low, and hopefully we get a double bottom from here and spring back up. As for the resistance to watch, we'll be looking at this blue conversion line, 36.65, and this red baseline at around 38.75. Let's move on to the second stock, which is Alibaba or BABA. So for Alibaba, you can see that recent high of 7801 hit a high of 125.84. Unfortunately, we did not really hold this 7801, and we are actually barely holding it on this particular Friday, about 2 days ago. So this is not a very good sign. So if these do not hold and we do not bounce off from here next week, then potentially we may come back to retest this low of this 73.28 levels. Resistance to watch will be 85 and 91. Let's move on to NetEase. So for NetEase, very bearish as well. You can see the 38.2% broke down. Very critical support here, and it gave up. So immediately hitting towards the 23.6% at 7810, which was very much this particular gap here that was created. So this gap now is filled. Hopefully we can see a potential bounce from here, but it may be just a short-term rebound looking towards this 82 and $86. As for the support to watch, we're looking next support at 68.62, and hopefully we see buyers coming back at that price level. Next up, we have NIO. So for NIO, pretty bearish. You can see that this 50% already broke down. So we're looking towards this 38.2% as a retest of 1655. If we were to break down, then 1468 and even potentially 1167 may be retested once again. Resistance will be 1960 and the $20 psychological resistance. Moving on to JD. So for JD, equally bearish, just like NetEase, at 23.6% at 51.89. This is essentially the last support. If we break down this $50 psychological support, then 46.83 and even potentially 41.56 may be the next support to watch out for JD.com. For resistance, will be 55 and the $60 psychological resistance. Moving on to Baidu. So for Baidu, very similar situation compared to the rest, 23.6% at 114.74. If we were to break down, which is likely the case, then we are likely to come back to this $100 psychological support to retest it. Resistance to watch will be 126 and 136. Moving on to PDD. So for PDD, you can see that very much the caution of a fake breakout above the 68.71. If we do not come back to retest this support level, if this previous resistance did not turn into support, then we can see more bearish momentum on the downside. You see that we were supported by this red conversion line, red baseline rather, and it coincides with this 50% at 58.92. If we break down further, then 55.60 and 54.50 is the next two support. If not, then we may come back to retest this 44.82. As of now, the resistance to watch would be 65.40 levels. Moving on to KWEB. So you can see that KWEB is very, very bearish. We are already turning down, and we are creating a very much like a higher low here with this high here, and we are also creating lower lows as well. So that is not a good sign. So the 23.72 would likely to be tested next week. We once saw buyers stepping in at these levels, and hopefully we get a good bounce from here. For resistance, it will be 26 and $28. Once again, if this 23.72 do not hold, then it's likely for us to come back to test this $20 psychological support levels. So moving on to CWEB. So for CWEB, you can see that this 40.40, in fact, it was tested on Friday itself. We hit around 14.15 as the close on Friday. So that is not really a good sign. We are already at the last support. So if we break down, then it's likely for us to come back and we test this low of 35.50, which is around $4 to $5 away. Resistance would be 46 and $53. Lastly, we have FXI. So FXI is pretty bearish. You can see that this is the first wave down, second wave down. So hopefully we do see a bounce at this 26.13, which is coming pretty soon, and we can have a double bottom here. If unfortunately the sellers appear to be too big, then potentially we may even slide down further to even this $22 support at around 22.70, or even potentially the $20 psychological support level. Resistance will be around 27.70 and $29. So hopefully buyers come in and we can see a bounce. So overall, you can see that most of the Chinese stocks, in fact, all of the stocks across all index is pretty bearish, and hopefully we see a bounce next week, especially for those that are already at the last support levels. If not, we may start creating lower lows. So if there's any changes, I'll give you guys an update. Thanks for stopping by. Till we meet again, appreciate the manipulation.